vision. And my blockage is I'm still trying to get it right for myself. I can't see around my own issues. So any information I'm giving you is going to be incomplete. It's not going to be consistent with what you need. That's why I always say the best answer I can give you, go within. Study the words yourself. Read things yourself to kind of give you enhancement. I read stuff like Reverend Ike stuff to remind me of my power. Because sometimes I'll forget. I'll get lost. And stuff like this bring me back. I'll read these things over and over again. I'll listen to the same recordings over and over again. You have to go through something to accomplish something. Say it again. You have to go through something to accomplish something. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not willing to go through something to accomplish something. It's too hard. That's too much. I hear people say it all the time. Man, that stuff you do, I couldn't do that. Working that hard and making all those phone calls, get those loads. I can't do it. That's too much. Basically what they're saying, it's easier for them to go work for somebody and be told what to do. That's what's easy. I think they just be talking when they say that. They don't really understand what they're saying. It's like Christ said when they had him up there, crucify him, and he said, forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. And I'll say to that, forgive them, Father. They know not what they say. They don't know the consequences of their very words. They don't know. It's that simple. Do you realize that you're receiving your reward of every word that you utter out of your mouth? There's a saying in the church, power of life and death is in the tongue. And that is very true. The power of life and death is in your tongue. The power of success and failure is in your tongue, in the words you utter. Not just the words you utter, the words you think. Because the thinking of the words come before you actually speak it. You have to double down on it, meaning you have to contract with the word before you speak it, right? You think about it, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and you speak it. You think about it, then you decide to speak it. You create a contract with your consciousness. Oh, I accept what this is as the truth, and I'm going to speak it now so that I can solidify it and see that it comes forth. There are no excuses why you can't succeed, why you can't get it done. There are no excuses. I don't want to hear I got so much to do. You got so many other things to do other than work for your success. People literally will make an excuse not to be successful. They will. They will find every way not to make something happen. I don't know how many excuses I had. No, hey, you could do this. Oh, I got so much to do. I got this job that I'm working at. And job. So you make an excuse to be a slave. You'd rather be a slave than make something happen for yourself and your family outside of clocking in and out. Y'all want to know what's really going on out here? Y'all really want me to say the truth about the very existence that 80% of the population is living? Just like they got free-range chickens. We got free-range slaves. You know that, right? Free-range slaves. Let me explain it. You got to get a passport to even leave the country, and you can only go to the places they tell you can go. That accepts that passport. It's number one. Number two, most people have jobs. And if you want to keep that job, you got to clock in when they say, clock out when they say, take a break when they say, take a vacation when they say. And you get a couple of sick days per year and some personal time. They give you some of that as a concession for you giving them credit of your time. Like you come to work, you work for 2 weeks, then they pay you. Some people, y'all work for a whole month and don't get paid. But you giving them all that free work credit of your hours until you get that one check. Why do they give you a check once a month? Because it's cheaper for them to cut a check. The accounting is cheaper. It's convenient for them to pay you once a month. Stack up all your money, stack up all your credit with them. It's convenient. It's not for your benefit, it's for theirs. You working for them is for their benefit, not for yours. You think you're getting something out of it, and they're paying you fractions of what they're earning. See, they looking to make millions. You looking to make hundreds. So as old as you are, how long you've been dealing with these situations, there are no excuses why you can't succeed. Because if you could work hard and be under that type of scrutiny and be a free-range slave, you can be free, set yourself free, because no one's forcing you to do any of that, and go start something on your own. You can do that, but why won't you do it? And that static are being sacrificed. And that's, if your stuff's not available, they can't hear it. Sometimes you got to feel your way through the dark, and I struggled all the way up into the minute. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all you guys.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.
All right. Does my sound good? Am I going? Well, welcome everyone to the Level Up Thursday with Karin. Today's topic is the techniques on, what was the title again?
how to listen to the voice of God within us.
Right. How to listen to the voice of God within. How to lift, to me, sometimes I call it the spirit
Yeah,
or ancestors. Different things you want to call that, but there's always something speaking to you, speaking truth to you or through you. And the trouble is people have a hard time hearing it. So, but before we get into the topics, how was your week so far? Preparing for today.
well, again, very productive. I can't believe it's February 22nd. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
today
Next
we
week
had
it's
our first
over.
show.
Yeah, yeah. It's next week it's over. We're gonna be doing March.
Hmm.
Spring is almost here. It's starting to warm up a little. I don't know how it
Yeah,
is over there in Champagne.
it was beautiful. We had like over 60s, which was nice. We
Yeah.
even took a walk in the park. But this morning was rain was with ice for a little bit,
Oh,
and then, yeah. But the weather is great.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been
How's your?
pretty nice over here. It's it's cool, very cool in the morning. It's like icy almost, and then it seems like spring in the afternoons. You never know really how to dress, but it's been pretty, you know, bearable.
Yeah.
Uh, we had rain the last couple of weeks back, but now it's been sunny for the most part. So,
Nice. We didn't plan that, but we have the same color shirt.
yeah, I know. I wasn't even paying. I just grabbed something out of the closet. I hadn't worn this in a while and threw it on.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah,
it
because
is.
they wear the same color. People probably, how people start getting to thinking. Yeah.
It wasn't fun,
That
everybody.
was
It
just pure
wasn't fun.
coincidence. Yeah, pure coincidence. Because I had
Yeah,
a yellow hood on first, and I just went and grabbed something to change out of that. So yeah, that's funny. So they say, what do you call what is what great minds think alike? That's the saying.
yeah, yeah.
So
That's true.
so listening to the God within. What do you have to say about that?
So I think the first thing that you have to identify is where you spending most of your time at.
Right.
And the first thing is your phone can help you. You know, if you have iPhone, it can help you to look in a week and each day individual, where do you spend your most time at, and then you start from there.
Right.
You start to, again, first of all, I think you have to be ready. If you're not ready, just don't try not just don't do it.
Right.
You have to be ready to give up on things that no longer serve you and not gonna serve you in the future, like TV, social media. Not social media, if you use it for business, of course, but if you just finding yourself scrolling for 30 minutes an hour just to see what's going on,
Right.
it's not going to serve you in the future.
Somebody said
So,
it's an echo. Hang on.
uh-oh,
We tested now. We tested this. Let me check something.
we did tested it.
Yeah, we did. I'm looking for. So how's that? Those of you who said we had an echo. Because I don't hear one over here.
I don't hear either.
Mm-mm. I don't hear it. Let me check one thing here. I don't hear it. How's that sound on the echo? Yeah.
Did someone says anything? We should take this down.
I'm not getting it. They're not telling me
Oh,
in the chat. That could be your mic without the headphones. coming back, feedback into your mic.
Oh, it says good now. Okay.
Okay. I just turned down some of the levels. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I just turned down some of the levels. All right. So sorry we interrupted that flow with the mic thing. But you were saying, watch, try, work on giving up some of those things that are distracting you, like television, bad habits, whatever that. Some of our bad habits, I believe, is sometimes, I think one of our biggest for a lot of people is not just watching TV and things. I think is more, I think your direct association with people
Mm-hmm.
is one of the biggest distractions because people call you, oh, let's go hang out here, let's go do this and do that. Which, I have no problem with entertaining, entertainment things. But where what I say is in all high level people who work at a high level, if your financial situation is not where you want it to be, you have to sacrifice that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're saying you want to get out of working for the job, by next year, you have to give up. You really got to become a recluse in order to get to the next level. And people have challenged me on this. They have said to me, no, you don't have to do all of that. But the people that say that are the people who have not achieved a high level. When I look at the people that's doing it and they really making it happen, they all say the same thing. You got to give up those friends. And
Right.
the thing that they talk about, why you have to give them up, because they're not in the same mind frame that you're trying to be in. And all they're going to do is continue to draw from you and bring you back to who you was. It's
Right.
everything that you was associated, whether it's intangible or tangible, physical or non-physical, just the thinking, everything has to go. You
Mm-hmm.
literally got to become a new person. You literally have to do that. And that's why most people don't make it past that threshold, because they don't want to give up some of those pleasures. Those
Right.
pleasures are more important to them than this whole I'm leveling myself up, becoming a new person. That's not as important. So, and here's another thing that just hit my head. Even when you do get to a next level, to get to the next level, you got to give up the old level.
Right.
You got to become a better person than the person you just became.
True.
So it's a constant work. And like I say, like just looking at my own personal situation, there's things that I want different than it was when I started this whole thing 8 years ago. I know there things are different, but I want better. So that means I
Right.
gotta become a whole, do things differently than what I'm doing now. Build on it, build upon these foundations that I laid. And one of the foundations that I laid was consistency. Even when I don't want to do it, like these shows, sometimes I just feel like I don't want to do it. I could just easily just go lay down. I've been up all day since 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I deserve to, you start tricking yourself. I deserve to lay down. I've been up all day. I've been productive. But were you productive? How productive? How much revenue did you generate? You have to start. And I say, nope, I still got to go. I made a commitment. I still got to do it. So, and to now, what I want to talk about is that listening to give up those things. What do you have to do? Listening to the God, because the God within you is saying you need to give it up. Everybody, when I'm saying this, people listen to me. Yeah, I know what you talking about. I do need to do this, and I knew that's that God speaking the truth to them. Now, whether they listen and follow through, that's another thing. How do you get from ignoring that voice and actually listening and following through? How do you build that habit?
Yeah. So, like you said, you want to get rid of all habits, but you have to replace them with something else. So, what is that you're replacing it with?
Yeah.
You have to ask yourself also that question, what I'm gonna replace it with. Okay, I gave up on TV. Now I have 7 hours a week, let's say 10 hours a week. I need to replace them with something else.
Hmm.
So maybe read some books or listen to podcasts. You said I don't have time to listen. Now you have, because you gave up on something. So you replace it with something more positive.
Right.
That's what I did. That was work for me. That I identify exactly where I'm spending my time, and I replace it with something else. So I let go of the old habits and replace it with new habits. And like you said, you want to level up, you have to get rid of those old habits and replace them with new habits.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And then the more you do it, the more you're going to learn about yourself more, because you're going to start listening to yourself. And listening to yourself is listening to God.
Right.
that
Right.
that directs you exactly. Okay, you like this book, keep reading. You don't like it, find something else. Or
Right.
if it's a podcast or anything else that you replace it with. And when you mention people, that was another one, that only positive conversation. Try to consume only positive conversation. If someone try to talk to you something negative, or call you and start to gossip, or tell you like something negative, just tell them simply, thank you, but I'm not interested listening.
Right. Right. Right.
Because you
Yeah,
want to
that's true.
consume all the positivity into your life, and that's how you grow, by listening, by feeding your mind, your body, your feelings, your thoughts with
Hmm.
positivity.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's those negative conversations is very easy to get into because you can just be listening to it, and and then most of our negative talk comes from those phones and those little negative videos that pop up randomly. And then next you know, you're about 10 videos in watching something negative. Because
Right.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I learned that people that talk negative or gossip, the people that like really, really bored in their day. They're bored in their life.
They
They have
get something
nothing
out of
else
it.
to do.
It's a payoff for them. It makes them feel important, I guess. You feel important talking down about something or someone. You Because really when you are talking about somebody, you're actually elevating yourself above them, because you're trying to put them down like you're better than them. But we all have our own personal quirks and issues that we have. And I always say the biggest challenge is yourself. That's really where all your problems derive, is from you within, because most people don't realize that they have a God voice within them that's speaking and trying to give them the guidance that they're really looking for. Like I said, I think said last week, most people are looking for someone else to give them guidance, someone else to tell them what to do. Yes, we need others to encourage us, or we can use the encouragement. I won't say need, we don't really need that, but when you have such a bad view of yourself, you do need it. You need someone to come and say, you can do this, you know, and you have to believe that. So, and like if you start talking a lot of positive, have positive conversations, what I notice, a lot of the negative people don't even want to talk to you anymore.
Right.
They
It's
don't
true.
even, they go away and find somebody else to share those negative conversations with. So
Yeah.
it
And
kind of,
that's how sorry.
no, go ahead.
Oh, that's how you start writing solo. When you all those people, all the
Yeah.
negative people start to back up from you, and that's how you start to write solo, and you know exactly who's those people that's gonna be by your side when you need, and gonna support you and lift you, and always going to be there for you when they're positive and you have the same mindset. And when you talk, it's a deep conversation, and it's about goals and about achievements and dreams and ideas, that ideas turn to money, and it's not about, like you said, negative things or gossip or
Hmm.
everything
Yeah.
around that.
Yeah, they get real disinterested.
Yeah.
What I noticed most over the years, most people are really involved in your life for this because they get something out of it. And as soon as they don't get that, they go somewhere else. Most people. Now there's this few, very small few that are genuinely in your life to be your friend. But most people, I could say this even about family. You know, I don't hear from some family unless they need something, literally. So it's and I don't really think they even understand or know what they're doing. I think it's just life got them in caught up in their world and they feel like they need to do this. But that idea of just stopping start picking up the phone and just to say hello, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while, how you doing? I remember when I used to go to this church, and I'm that type of person. If we're cool and we get along and I have your number, I'm gonna call and hey, because I enjoyed your company and I'm gonna call. But what I noticed, those people weren't calling me. So what I thought in my mind we had a friendship, it wasn't a friendship for them. I wasn't a thought that hey, call and say how you doing. I would, and then when I stopped going there, no one even picked up the phone and say I haven't seen you in a while. So that's how I knew that most people are just so caught up in their own world they don't even think about just saying hey, how you doing, everything okay? And even what I do now is people mostly want to connect with me because they need something, need some help.
Mm-hmm.
After that, a lot of people just go. You never hear from once they get their problem fixed, they're gone, they're done, which is
Right.
fine. But you know that's because that goes back to the listening to the God within them. Because if the God was within them was talking, they would that would that would motivate them to stay connected in some form.
Right.
But when it's not there, they're looking for the next person or thing that could they think can fix their problem that they have. And then this constant perpetual cycle of looking from this one to that one, this one to that one. And one of the things, whenever I coach people, I don't think I mostly talk to Steve. I think maybe once we did a consultation in the past, one time, was it? If I can remember correctly. But I always tell people don't rely on what I have to say.
Right.
Rely on what you feel or what's motivating you to do what you need to do. Because if you just stop and listen, that the answer is always going to come. It's not you're not going to not get your answer. Only time is not you're not going to get your answer if you're looking everywhere else outside of you. But it's the answer is telling you, but you're not listening. So you listening to all of that, so you can't hear it.
Right.
So, but when you sit back and you just, that's why I say the mornings are the wee hour of the mornings are the best time to listen, to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just pops in your head. Oh wow, that's the answer. But most people miss that because why? They gotta sleep because they gotta get up to go to work. So someone's got their mind all day long. So
Yeah.
yeah.
When you mention, I don't know where I heard it, but someone said, you create the problem, but you also have the solution.
Yep,
You create your own
absolutely.
problem, but you're the one who has the solution. You just, like you said, you go in somewhere to find it outside of you when you have it the whole time.
Right. Did you ever
And
that book called The Alchemist? You ever read that book?
no, I think you mentioned it a while ago. I
Hmm.
don't have it. I know I need to read it. It's
It's a very
interesting.
good book. I'll give you the this shepherd boy. He has these sheep, and he runs up on this old man, and his man, and he's well, the shepherd boy is kind of looking for the meaning of life to some extent, And the old man told him where to find his personal legend, which is his calling, so to speak. So this he's going on this journey, but the personal what he was looking for was right at the beginning of the story. Right where the old man was talking to him about. Like it was right there, but he couldn't see it. But he had to go through all of these trials. He lost all his sheep. Then then he ran up in the desert. These guys wanted to kill him, but it just he ended up right where he was at the beginning of the story, finding what he was looking for. And it was basically the truth was already there right in front of you. It was in you. And he was out, he was on his personal journey looking, talking to this one, he ran to this one, and he was getting more confused, and then clarity came um at the end. And then at the end he comes back to the same location where he was to find this treasure that he was looking for. So that's how we are as people. We I know I did. I looked everywhere, man, because I was taught to look everywhere.
Right.
And then one day at the worst time I believe in my life, the answer was right there and sitting right within me the whole time. And I was like, hmm. And that's why no one can shake my faith in any of this, because until you experience that, when you know all of that turmoil that you went through, and then now you have this certain peace within you that you can see, you can't, no one can tell you different. No
Nope.
one could, they can say whatever, but I'm not listening,
Right.
because you did not experience what I experienced. But everybody that had a similar experience can relate. And I had
Right.
a buddy named Jimmy Carter that I used to work with. He had the same experience. And he was terrible in his early years. He was like he even told me I was just a hellraiser. Until one day I went to the mountain and I'm cooking, and it just hit me, this whole he went to find himself, his truth, by going to the mountain, getting away from everything. And the story is actually amazing. I told him he need to write a book about it. When he tells me how he came to the conclusion, when he woke up, he was wide awake when he woke up, and he was barbecuing in the mountains. He went by himself, took time to himself, and he was barbecuing, and just had this revelation while he was cooking on the grill. And I said, yeah, you need to tell her. And you may not get to that point like I did, but something is going to trigger it. If you're
Mhm.
really looking for that answer, that was truth. Something is going to snap. Whatever way you get to it, there's many people find it in different ways. But once you get there, you'll never, it's like once you see things as they are, you never could put that rose colored glass back on. You
Right.
never get it, never, it's too late.
Right.
And I was listening to Dick Gregory, and he said something to that effect. He said, and one of the things you can't do is force anybody else to see the truth and see things as they really are. You can't do
Right.
that.
Nope. But are you familiar with the story Acres of Diamond?
No, I'm not.
It's almost similar to what the excuse me, the story you just shared. There's the guy that he had a lot of land, like
Uh-huh.
we're talking about back in the days, like a lot of land. And this another guy came to him and he told him that he needs to look for diamonds because he's gonna be wealthy, rich.
Right.
So he sold him the farm that he had. He had a farm
Right.
and a big land. He sold it to him, and he started his journey to look for the diamonds. And the diamonds was in his backyard the whole time.
But he looked everywhere else.
Yeah, he looked everywhere. I'm telling you, like he sold a farm and he had a backpack and he started, trying to find the diamonds that the guy told him to look for.
Right.
The diamonds were in his backyard the whole time.
On the place that he sold.
Yes.
Wow.
So if I think that
That's
if you want to answer, you want the truth, you just have to ask for it. But you also want to make you are ready to hear it
yeah,
because it's gonna come to you.
that's a
So
big one.
be prepared.
Yeah, be prepared because the truth is just the truth. It's not it's not obligated to come all dressed up to make you feel good.
Right. What?
That's see, and that's where people have issues. They do not want the truth like they say they want the truth. Because when it comes, they get, you know, like when certain things I talk about in the Bible, I bring up some common sense things. A lot of people be like, they want to reject it, like automatically without testing. I'm not saying I'm always right, but I'm like, we've been learning this stuff all of our lives, and it hasn't done anything, it hasn't changed anything for us knowing all of that. So maybe we need to investigate a little bit more to get a fuller understanding other than what someone else told us what it is. Will you come up with some bad conclusions at times? Yes, of course. But it's better to do that than to just sit back and just take someone else's word for it.
Mm-hmm.
This way, because okay, because there's some things that some conclusions I came at years ago, I don't have the same conclusion now. You know, after more study. Okay, wait a minute. This is saying something different. So,
Right.
but it's a journey that I've taken to learn the truth. And at times I am going to draw the wrong conclusion. But guess what? I came to my own wrong conclusion. I'm not adopting someone else's wrong conclusion. It's better to have your own wrong conclusion than to have someone else's wrong conclusion. That's what they call the blind leading the blind. You
Mm-hmm.
see?
Right.
So,
That's the problem too. A lot of people they're not question
mm-mm.
anything else. They whatever they've been told, like me, that grew up the whole my life like that. I never asked why. I
Right.
never asked that question, and I took it with me until what 2020 when I had that waken.
Right.
You never ask why, or you just says okay, okay, and you never question anything.
Mm,
Nobody told you how to think,
mm-mm. Oh, they gave you what to think. They
what to
said,
think.
this is what you
Right,
need to think. This is what you need. This is it. This is it. This is it.
right.
This is, no one really like, let's talk about speak on the topic of the God within. One day I had an epiphany. Something spoke to me and said, you don't have to die. And I was like, what do you mean? I know I don't have to die. Well, the only reason why you believe you could die is because someone told you die.
Hmm.
And well, then I started to reason. Well, I see people dying all the time. Then it said they only die because they believe they can die. That's why they die. So the reason why I say that is that that was a big revelation for me. I only believe I can die is because I was taught that I can go old and die. And to solidify what I'm saying, I saw a TikTok video, something that had where people sing their birthdays. And that's really a ritual in putting a stamp on you getting older. You're believing that I'm going to age, I'm going to start to look different, I'm going to soon get feeble. I've been spoke those things, and we say our words of power. I've been see, even though I'm somewhat out of that matrix thinking, there's some matrix ideals that I still hold on to. I just recently said, you're not gonna. This body is gonna die one day. Why do I say that? Why did I say that? Because I'm looking at what the evidence of people dying around me. But then I have to ask myself, why do they think like that? Because they were taught the same thing I'm teaching. You grow old and you die.
Hmm.
We believed it. So if we're sitting here really talking about how we create our reality. We are creating the atmosphere of growing old and die just by our believing that that's possible. And see, that's what happens when you start really elevating your thinking. You start to toss these ideas around and start to say, yeah, I only believe I can die is because that's what I was taught to believe. That's what I see people to believe, see happening. And I saw what's happening and said, okay, that's what happens. And I contracted with the idea of growing old and dying.
Mhm.
So
Like I
it's
remember when I was younger, someone said to me, "Oh, when you're gonna get to age of 40, you're gonna have a breakthrough." And that sentence um, traveled with me until I got to 40. When I
mm,
was like, "What are we talking about?" I didn't have any breakthrough at all. I'm
right.
growing, I'm evolving. Like what they were talking about. Now I realize that they had their own experience, that they went through
And
something when the age of
they
40.
put that on you.
Right, but they put it on a young. I was very young. I was maybe 15 or 16. I remember they said that to me.
Wow.
So that's another thing. What are you taking? Is it true? Whatever
Yeah.
whoever says something to you, you have to ask yourself, is it true or not? And if
Right.
it's true, how does it serve me? And if it doesn't true, how does it serve me? Like what is the benefit I'm getting out of it?
Right. Yeah, that I got to agree with that because a lot of one of the places I've seen people prophesying on people's lives is in church. These people giving their prophecy. But I tell people a lot of these people are prophesying over their own life and putting that stuff on you. That's the
Right.
stuff in them coming out on about themselves. And they're trying to say, well, you because you be like confused, like, what are you talking about? You know, so I think people are their own prophesying over their own life by the things they say and believe in.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But yeah, like you said, you grow. I think Rev and I heard him say that your body renew every 7 years.
you're a new person. Yeah,
But what are you feeding your mind and your feelings and your body in those 7 years? That's how you grow. You grow. You can grow young or you can grow old, like you said. What is that
right,
you keep telling yourself?
right,
So, as a reminder, your body renew every 7 years. So, start planting the seeds of good
right.
thoughts.
If you
And
if you start believing in how your body actually operates, every why does it renew every 7 years? What's that for?
see,
Why does it do that? And then proper diet I think can help as well. So they, they most of our stuff limbs can they're starting to realize that our limbs can regenerate under the right conditions.
mhm,
But like once again, we have limited ourselves by our current day science scholars. We let them tell us what science is. Like even when it comes to medical doctors, for a long time I believe the only way I can get well is to go to a doctor.
mhm,
Then I listened to someone who was a doctor who said, no, this you could do these other things. But I wouldn't have never believed that if it wasn't for a doctor who was someone who was a doctor, licensed, practice doctor, tell me that. I probably would have never broke that. Like I wouldn't have let someone who wasn't a doctor tell me that. But then I took their advice and I started to see, wow, this stuff really does work. Like one of the biggest things that I tried, the biggest, when it came to medical, I started taking turpentine. Now you tell most people that turpentine, that's paint thinner. But Pure Gum Spirits turpentine heals you. I watched it. I grabbed um something very hot, and you know how when you grab it, it starts to blister.
mhm.
And and it was hurting. I took and dipped my finger in some turpentine. The pain went away and it didn't blister.
Wow.
Now, I didn't know to do that. I was doing turpentine but I said, let me try it. Something in me spoke and said, use turpentine. I listened, and my hand didn't even look like I touched anything that burned. Then what happened, some months later, I heard Dr. Jennifer Daniels say turpentine has regenerative properties. Well, it'll regenerate your
Mhm.
cells back to its regular cellular structure. I didn't know that at the time. She had never said that, never heard anybody, but something said. See, that's what I'm talking about. On all levels, the God within you is telling you how to heal yourself, what to read, who to talk to, who to not to talk to, what situations to get in. It's telling you. But because I had at that point trained myself to listen to that voice, I immediately did it. And it amazed me. I had stuff like little, how something start to get infected and you get the pus is building up in there. Put that on there, and the next day it's gone. Just
Wow.
dip. And then I started to hear older people say, yeah, we used to take turpentine and put it on our aching backs and stuff like that, and it would get rid of the aches.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
It,
Somebody
it, it,
said, how do I use it? Turpentine is used in certain form. You can use turpentine and sugar to get rid of parasites, or you just take, and now just so people don't go dabbing themselves in turpentine, let me clear it up. I just used a very little amount of turpentine on the burn. I didn't like soak it because, yes, turpentine can be harmful to your health and sometimes deadly if you take too much of it. And too much of anything can kill you. Even with herbs, and too much of a herb can kill you. Some herbs like lobelia can kill you if you take too much of it. But I just took a little, I put it in a little cap and I just dipped it, and that was it. That one time, and that took care of it. Because turpentine really penetrates down through everything. It really gets in there. So, but
it's interesting what you just said because now you realize how powerful your body is. And when you start to get to know your body, you know exactly what it needs. And
mm-hmm,
I wanted for example, I wanted to do my white teeth cleaning. Then I started seeing this video about taking a coconut oil and start pulling every morning for 15 to 20 minutes,
mm-hmm,
and I start doing it. And it's
mm-hmm.
not only my teeth is white, but it's also clean all the bacteria that you have in your mouth and in your body.
Very
And
effective.
the doctor, the dentist doesn't say anything about it because they want you to go back and pay the money because it's not cheap if you don't have insurance. But you just not, like you said, you don't do any research about what is
Right.
that you need. But
Mm-hmm.
let me say another thing. You always talk about how to visualize, your bank account growing and overflowing.
Mm-hmm.
When you start visualize your body, if you know your organs in your body and you see how they, like you said, if you have some whatever that you want, okay, you can visualize that. You can visualize your skin is clean, your face is clean, no wrinkles. You can do it because you are so
Mm-hmm.
powerful. If you know your body and you know yourself, you can heal yourself. You have the chakras inside of your body that
Mm-hmm.
each chakra
Yeah.
speaking something different, so you can open them by yourself. You don't need to go to someone and ask them to help you to open your chakras
Mm-hmm.
when you can do it. But you know what's the problem too? You listen to those videos that tell you don't do this, don't do that, and you start sinking into your mind and you start to get
Start
scared
believing it.
of
It's very
what if
subtle.
you're going to do it.
Yeah. You begin to adopt a negative thought.
Yeah.
It's very easy to adopt with a negative idea like that. It's very easy. And it's challenging to get out of it. They said for every negative idea, you need to think 5 to 10 positive just to overcome that one negative. That's how powerful negativity is. And I think that is because most people walk around with negativity, so we just kind of amplify it amongst each other. That's why a lot of people is more um in tune with watching negative content on YouTube and other channels. So, oh, let me clear something up. It's pure gum spirits turpentine. You don't get that stuff that's got all the industrial chemicals in. Pure pure gum spirits turpentine is the resin of the pine tree. That's what
Mm.
it is. That's distilled. I'm just putting that in there so they don't go out there and kill themselves. And first of all, do your own study on it before you do it. Don't just start taking it.
Right.
Yeah, but I and one bottle will last you forever. Like I've had my bottle of turpentine for right now 5 years or more because you
Wow.
don't have to use as much. You just need a small amount.
See, so it's another great way to listen to the voice of God is if something happened or you need the direction, just pause yourself for a second and ask, okay, where do I need to go? What is that I need to do?
Right,
Close your eyes and try to. It takes time and practice. It's not gonna happen overnight,
right,
but it's a great just to ask yourself, okay, what is my next step? And that it will come to you and it
hmm
will talk to you. Just listen
right,
and shut down those TVs and pick up a book or work on your business. You want to say you want to make more money, but then you go watch a TV show for 1 hour and every night it's 7 hours a week, right?
That's a
7 hours,
time
you know how
killer.
much money you can make, you know how much content you can create, you know how much you can do for upgrading your business to take it to the next level. You know, it's funny, I talked to one of my friends today and she's a real estate agent. And
Right,
I told her, you want to sell more? Find the time to learn new skills, better communicator, better know how to sell. Like she's a top seller. She is.
right,
I learn a lot from her, but at the same time, take the time to learn. Take the
right,
time to educate yourself.
right. Yeah.
So if you want to replace something, so replace it with education and content that actually gonna help you grow because you want to teach your kids, you want to create something for generation and generation,
Right.
so your
Yeah.
name gonna remember.
You're right. In order to, like you say, you got to keep going in the direction of learning more.
Right.
Unless you don't want to do anything, you want to stay where you are, then don't learn anymore. But if you say you want more, you have to keep going in the direction and getting good information. Because sometimes we get bad information. I've done that. I've connected, and even when my spirit was saying, no, and I didn't listen, it always came out bad. Because I started to reason with it. No, but this, and then you're being too harsh. No, I'm really learning now just to listen. And some of the things you have to listen to and follow through on, just as a warning, can be painful to let go of. But you have to let go for your own spiritual journey. Because some people just don't have your spiritual best interest at hand. They got a agenda, but it ain't that. It ain't they don't have that. A lot of people just more about what they can get out of a situation and what they want, regardless of what it does to other people.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to
So
also realize, like, what are you here for?
right,
Ask yourself that question. What are you here for? Why are you here?
right,
And a lot of people I know don't ask that question. I didn't ask it for years. Now just keep asking more. But what is that? What is that you're doing here? What is your? Because we've been here before, right? We've been
right.
here, but we're here again now in the physical. So what is that you are here for? And I know I'm here to grow and serve other people on my highest level,
Hmm.
but help other people. but there is so much you can give and so much you want to share and help each other. That's what we're here for.
Hmm.
So
That's when
again,
we are truly fulfilled, when we are service of others.
right.
That's
Yeah.
when we are truly feeling our best, when we know we did something to help someone. Now, not doing it with just receive all kind of praise for it, but just doing it out of the genuineness of who you are, just being of service. And from that is where all of the riches come from. All of the see, a lot of people talk about wealthy people, but one thing I know about wealthy, very wealthy people, they do a lot of philanthropy. You can call it what you want, but they do a lot of philanthropy. They give a lot of money away, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why they have a lot, because they give a lot of money away. Oh, I came. They're just doing that for tax shelters. Okay, if there's a benefit to it, why not? But the people that complain about that or talk about those people usually are in a bad situation. They have problems with their finances. They don't know how to manage money. But people that are performing at the level where they're, it takes some form of good spirituality to reach some form of real wealth.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. I've come to that conclusion. You really have to have a strong foundation in spirituality to reach that level of wealth. And some people are just evil. How do you know that? We don't know these people personally. Like, you hear a lot about Bill Gates and the stuff he's pushing and stuff like that. But then I had to withdraw from those negative thoughts about him because I don't know him.
Right.
Right? All I know is what people are saying on the internet. Same thing like people who don't like Donald Trump because they had some sound bites. He said he acted and behaved in a certain way. But at the same time, when you become in a certain mindset, you remove those judgments away and start to really say, wait a minute, I don't know this guy. I never sat down and had a conversation with him. We never spent any time together getting to know. I don't know him. So all of what I'm thinking is based on what a narrative that may be pushed or not. I don't know that.
Right.
But I do know this. He's a very wealthy man, and his children are wealthy as well because of his decisions that he made.
Right.
His grandchildren are wealthy. All of these people are doing well for themselves. So it's easy for the people who are not running anything to have hard judgment on people who run everything.
Right.
You see?
Yeah.
And we get caught up in these mindsets. We get caught up right there with them and wondering why we're not advancing. Because we are scoffing at the successful. We are putting them down when we should be like, wait a minute, let me figure out what they know. What is it they know that keeps them passing on this generational wealth? I mean, Donald, even though he lost this case, I believe he's going to win on appeal, but his family's going to be wealthy for generations. That wealth is going to continue.
Right.
And to me, that's some form of spirituality is there for that to happen. His
Right.
daddy set it up for him and he followed in. What did he do? He honored thy mother and thy father. And
Mm-hmm.
and it says that honor thy mother, thy father, and things will go well for you.
Right.
He's honoring them. So
Yeah.
somebody asked, how do you use the coconut oil again?
So I take a teaspoon. I'm still on the teaspoon, which is supposed to take a tablespoon, but take a teaspoon in the morning before you brush your teeth, before you even drink water, and it will melt because of your body temperature, and you
Right.
start pulling it. I started 5 to 7 minutes for the first 2 weeks. Now I'm going on 16 minutes. I did it every day, morning and night. Now I do it every other day, every 2 days in the morning. And then you spit it out to a cup, not to your sink because it's oil. You don't want to even,
Yeah, get hard. Yeah.
right, not even to your toilet.
Yeah.
And then you wash it with warm water with salt. And then you brush your teeth and then you can drink coffee, tea, and start your day. So it's actually a great 16 minutes to sit with yourself, pull in the oil, and no phone and no social media, no distraction, and see how you want your day to go. Write down your goals for the day. Write your gratitude journal. That 16 minutes can really help you also to start your day positive way. So
Right.
that's how I use it. Yeah.
Yeah, you swish it around in the mouth, get it through the gums and all of the little crevices.
Like you do your mouthwash,
Yeah.
it's you do exactly the same, but don't swallow it either.
Yeah, don't swallow
That's why
that.
you started 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and then you can. The ideal is 20 minutes, I think.
Right.
But so yeah,
And your
try it.
teeth will feel great. They feel nice and smooth. Your mouth will feel really good for the most of the day. I've done the oil pulling. I've never done it for 16 minutes. I probably need to do it. I have a big jar. I just actually bought a big jar of coconut oil. I
Yeah,
think I'm gonna go and try that. Go back, get back on it.
it cleans your bacteria, not only in your mouth but in your whole body.
Hmm.
So it's natural way to do it without going to the dentist and put some whatever you don't know what they put in on your teeth,
Right.
and then you do it naturally. But again, I something told me to do it, and I start doing it,
Wow.
and I
Yeah,
see the
it's a
results.
good thing to
So,
do. And it's a big thing on TikTok because somebody sells these bottles of coconut pulling oil, but it's mixed with all like mint and all these other things. I was like, I wouldn't need to get all of the mixtures because if I want to put mint with it, I just get some mint herbs and put it with it. But
right.
yeah, uh, it's a great thing, that oil pulling. Another thing, is speaking of oral hygiene, instead of using toothpaste, make your own toothpaste with peroxide and baking soda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can even do your own mouthwash. I just forgot what to put in, but I'll maybe next week I can share because you can make your own mouthwash as well.
Hmm. There
You
was a
can do a
guy.
lot of stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You just do your research, try it, see that it works for you, and of course, it's healthy for you as well. You don't want to take something that you're not familiar with or some ingredients that you don't know exactly where it's coming from. So, but
And yeah, you
it's
need to
amazing.
distill your water too. Distill your drinking water because you never see that thing on TikTok where you buy the little electrolyzer? It's like a yellow thing and it has four little prongs on it, and you put it in the water and it'll electrolyze the water and show you what impurities are in there.
Mm,
I did that today. Did like a 5-minute video. I'm gonna post it and show you what's in the tap water. It was brown, milky-ish. It's terrible. Now, what I did was I had the tap water that I distilled and I put it side by side and show you how the water that I distilled. It didn't do that. It did. The one that I got straight out of the tap, it looked like sewage water by the time. But see what they do with the water is they put a lot of perfumes in it to
mm-hmm.
get rid of the smell because all they do is put chemicals in it to mask the toxins or whatever is in it and give it a new taste. So really you tasting dirty, you're drinking water that has a good taste to it. Dirty water
Right.
with good taste. So, but it's if you see that, I believe if most people saw that for themselves, they wouldn't drink right out the tap or even cook with it.
Mm.
Like I try not to cook with the tap water. I cook with my distilled. I have a distilled water. And one thing about distilled water, you do have to put minerals because distilled water does strip you of your minerals because it really cleans you out. So you have to give back those electrolytes and stuff like that. Well, how I do is I'll put lemon in the water, maybe even a little bit of baking soda back in the water, and drink that.
Yeah.
But it's 8:01. I gotta go pick up my son.
So yeah, I
Uh,
mean, take it slow, day by day. Like I always said, even someone that's trying to quick, a smoker trying to quick is not gonna happen in overnight. So take those that process slow and try to identify where you're spending your most time in, and start to replace it with a new habits that more benefits you.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Do it little by little.
Hmm.
You know, just trust. And I know this is the difficult part. That first time listening to it, because the ego, that false you, is gonna argue with you. No, that don't make sense. This and that. The truth never makes sense to a mind that's convoluted with a lot of untruths. It never makes sense. They don't work together. So basically, you have to move on faith to say, okay, if I got this, this is telling me move, trust it, because a lot of great things happen by people just believing in something that sounded totally ridiculous. Like it might sound ridiculous that, hey, if you think you're increasing your bank account, that it'll just happen. Something will just, and it's, I've had checks just show up that I didn't even expect. Just show up. You see, like, well, I didn't know this was coming. I wasn't even thinking about this. I mean, upwards of over 30 grand. Just, where did this come from? It was something that I had worked on a long time ago that I totally forgot about, and then the results of it was coming back. But that's how it works.
Hmm.
Once you keep your mind on it. And I'm going to say this, and you can have your last, what you have to say last. I'm going to close on what I have to say here, what I'm about to say. 99.9% of the time, it's the people in your life that's holding you back. That you, not that they're not holding you back. You're allowing them to hold you back by the things you're doing, the things you tell, conversations you have. It's those people you love to hang out with and call friends and family. Those are the people that's keeping you from getting where you want. If people shed that desire to be liked and be that, I'm not against family and family time. I'm not against that. But I am for, if you want something significantly different than what you had the day before, better for you, you got to get away from the people that are not really thinking about that or care about that. And that's most of the time, that's your closest friends and family.
Right.
So
It's true. I
it's
think that you took my last word too. It's the people that are so close to you that those are
it's
the
that
one that.
anchor. It's an anchor. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an anchor to the old you. That's what it is. It's an anchor. And no one's saying that you got to leave and act better. No. You're leaving to be better so that they can see something different in you. And hopefully that will attract them to what you're doing. But if you're allowing, holding back your divinity just so you could be in their midst, then you doing, not only are you not doing them a good service, you're not doing yourself a disservice. And you will not find happiness in that. And what will happen, this vicious cycle of going back to the reason why people hang out a lot of times with each other, because a lot of times people hanging out, they're not really enjoying themselves for the most part. Because they're talking about this and talking about crazy comments. And then after it's over, like, did I really enjoy that? You start to really think about it, because it was like, and even if you did enjoy some moments of it, you were like, oh, that was great, but this happened, and it's always some type of drama. But you have to get to that place where you want something different, because you will never seek, you're only running back for a fulfillment with people and things that you can never satisfy.
Right.
That's why they keep going back doing it over. Oh, we gotta do that again next week. Because I know when me and my homeboy that I grew up with, we hung out all weekend partying, waited for that. And when we start hanging out, when I look at the times we hang out, it was moments of happiness. But the large majority was trying to figure out what we wanted to do. Like, where we going? What club we gonna get? If we go to this club, oh, this ain't hitting. We going to this club. We going to that club. And then we were young and single. We looking for the ladies, and like, and that was for the most part disappointing sometimes, because they had an agenda. They want you to buy drinks and feed their drinking habits, and they're not really interested in you. They're interested in the money in your pocket. So
Exactly.
when you really think about all this hanging out, it's like it's not what it's all cracked up to be. The happiest time you'll get is getting to know yourself and your own company, being happy with your own company. And then you can have fulfilling times with other people. Like when I go over my homeboy house, he lives near me now. I have great times with him when I'm hanging out with him because I'm so fulfilled within myself. When I go over there, I'm not looking for him to fill anything or do anything. I go over there. He cooks great food in the company and the conversation. So now I have a truly fulfilling time when I do hang out with him.
Mm-hmm.
And me and him have gotten to the point where we don't even want to go out to eat anymore, waste our money. We cook our own food because we could cook the food better. That's where he's gotten, and he's got me doing that. Like I made bagels this week.
I saw them. They
You
look
saw
so
those?
good.
Right. I made bagels this week. Now he would, you got me making bagels now. That's what we're doing now. See,
Yeah.
that's what happens when you start leveling up. Leveling up is just not just about, it's about now instead of giving people away and buying bread and all this stuff, I can make my own and realize I'm so powerful. I can make bagels just like and better than the ones in the store without all of the ingredients in it.
See?
So we
Yeah.
are powerful people, and we can do anything we want to do.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. Yes, we are. So I want to
Yeah.
add one more thing.
Go
Don't
ahead.
scare to take the next step. Whoever listen to me right now, it took me years to take the next step. Take it now. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just jump. Okay? God watching you.
Gotta catch you.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
Can't catch you if you don't jump. Can't do it.
yeah.
All right, Karin, that was a great conversation. Once again, another conclusion to Level Up Thursday with Karin. We'll see you next week, same time. Do you have an idea what we're going to be talking about next week?
Oh yeah, I know. Do you want me to share with you now?
Yeah, go ahead.
How to control your thoughts.
Oh, wow.
He came to me. He came to me again last week.
Yeah.
How to control your thoughts. This is the topic for next week. I have some techniques to share from when I've learned hypnosis. It's a great technique, and I'm sure you have some too. So that's for next week.
Now I'm still. You might have one of those on me, because my thoughts be running wild, and I got to lasso them back. Like, just get it back. So you might, you probably got some techniques I'm a need next week. So I'm excited to hear that. How to control your thoughts. I know how to get my thoughts back once they get out of control. I know how to stop them, but how to so if I can get it before they get there,
yeah, there is a level to get there.
Right.
So we're gonna talk about it next week.
Okay. All right, everybody. Till next week. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all. Have a good one. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all you guys.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.